Readings nominal. Human DNA detected. Presence of currency high. Beginning communication. Hello. We are Anonymous, your host for today's presentation. Wait, I've detected an issue in the presentation program.
Greetings, citizens of the world. We are Anonymous. It has come to the attention of the collective that...
It is morning here, so there's no news to speak of. Yet. But there will be. It's clear as crystal that the root of all evil is the bankers are the enemy of humanity. The international banker is the scum of the earth. And they have to be brought to account. The bankers manufacture recessions and depressions to exert a greater control over social and political structures. The bankers create and finance the wars on both sides of the conflicts. The bankers orchestrate famine, poverty, and want. There is no argument of any kind that can be used to generate sympathy for the bankers.
So let's name names. World Bank sponsors Water Resources Group aiming to privatize water services in less developed countries. That's right. This is a World Bank facilitated project. According to Corporate Accountability International,
2030 Water Resources Group hides its intention to privatize developing nations' water supplies.
Our ruling elite are allowing our infrastructure to die, to collapse, so that more and more people have to buy their clean drinking water.
Get to the point, Lee. New information has come to light. Are you psychotic? Oh, cool. That was like a lot of words in a row. What the fuck's a transformative economy? Just a good old-fashioned privatizing of fresh water around the planet. Nothing sinister about that. Who the fuck exactly were these secret meetings with? Hides its intention to privatize developing nations' water supplies. Just a good old-fashioned privatizing of fresh water around the planet. Nothing sinister about that. So let's name names. Who the fuck exactly were these secret meetings with? The president of Brazil, Temer, held private meetings with Ambev global president Carlos Brito, Coca-Cola CEO James Quincy, and the CEO of Dow Chemical, Andrew Liveris. Water is the main raw material used by Coca-Cola and Ambev, and coincidentally, Andrew Liveris is part of the Water Resource Group's governing council. On the official WRG website, Andrew Liveris appears alongside former Coca-Cola CEO Muhtar Kent, another member of the WRG Governing Council.
The World Bank has launched a new partnership with global corporations including Nestle, Coca-Cola, and Veolia. Housed at the World Bank's International Finance Corporation, the new venture aspires to transform the water sector by inserting the corporate sector into what has historically been a public service. The new partnership is part of a broader trend of industry collusion to influence global water policy. They said that back in 2011. They predicted that the World Bank created mission would result in the selling off of the world's clean water to some of the most villainous, vile corporations in the world. And now, here we are, 2018, 7 years later.
They predicted that the World Bank created mission would result in the selling off of the world's clean water to some of the most villainous, vile corporations in the world. And now, here we are, 2018, 7 years later, and the president of Brazil is meeting in secret with exactly those motherfuckers. All this network of relationships around the World Economic Forum reveals how big business organizes to promote and execute its agenda of appropriation of the planet's wealth. Want a more obvious example of how disgusting the oligarchical pillaging of our world has gotten? In Davos, during these meetings, the people involved were staying at the Park Hyatt Hotel in Zurich. According to hotel information, the daily rate of the presidential suite, where Temer likely stayed, is equivalent to what a worker receiving a minimum wage in Brazil would take almost a year and a half to earn. So let's wrap this up in a bow, shall we? The World Bank realized clean water is getting increasingly rare. They created an organization, 2030 WRG, which consists of world bankers meeting with the heads of the largest corporations that sell clean water back to the people of the world. This organization basically, it serves as a reputation laundering service. That's what this is, okay? It doesn't look good for the headlines to read Coca-Cola and Dow Chemical in talks to purchase Brazil's clean water for 100 years. So instead, it says 2030 WRG in talks to purchase clean water for 100 years. That sounds so much better. You can just meditate to that. 2030 WRG. Most people don't even know what that means. They think it's a fucking smartphone app or something. The outrageously wealthy parasites are laughing in our fucking faces. They stay in hotels that cost for one night what a worker would make in a year and a half. They meet in private, collude in the shadows, press their toxic flesh together, smoke some cigars, and then strike deals to sell off the planet's resources. This is how unfettered capitalism works. This is how it's designed to work. It acts like we have no choice to solve these problems, but to sell off the soul of our existence, which is what clean, fresh water is. When we look to other planets, we go, do they have that thing that's the key to existence? Yeah, clean, fresh water. They sell it to massive corporations, as if they're the ones that will save us from our troubles. But of course, the troubles they're supposedly going to save us from were created by them and the system that made them powerful. The fact that much of the world doesn't have clean water, the fact that much of the world doesn't have the infrastructure to bring clean water to their homes, that's a systemic flaw created by profit over people, created by capitalism. It's a cancer of our systemic values. We can't turn to bankers and corporations for help fixing the problems created by bankers and corporations. It's like trying to scrub a shit stain out of your pants by smothering it with shit. But just use some of this shit to clean out this shit.
I try to see an out for everyone, but the only out I can see for the banksters is out of our lives. And marched still living through the gates of hell, where they can reunite with the banker-in-chief. Judgment is going to pry out from the earth they walk upon and have plundered at will. That will is now going to be drained away into fear and apprehension. Their protectors are going to turn on them. Their holdings are going to dissolve and spill from their fingers like a handful of sand. And there are not enough police and armies to quell what is going to rise out of the midst. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but like everything else, we'll see.
We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.